Today in the crypto space, we see the market still looking strong. Bitcoin right around 76,000, getting a few pops to the upside. Ethereum hovering around $3,000, up approximately 1.5%. And the rest of the crypto space, the altcoins of mix of green and red. We have some good gainers today, like ICP, Chainlink waking up, Pyth is doing good, CRO, and Cardano. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about ADA. What's going on with Cardano? It got a bit of proof of life, and the question is, can it get a continuation to the upside? You know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome on the channel. We talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins. Looking for opportunity, whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with the general market. We can see that the market is still looking strong. Let me refresh this real quick to make sure that we got the latest. You can see that the overall market cap right now is at about $2.7 trillion. Yes, it's down approximately 1%. No big deal right here. We're waiting for another inflow of volume. We want to see another move to the upside with regards to volume and a continuation to the upside. I believe that's yet to come. We could be going sideways throughout the weekend, guys. Of course, we're beginning the weekend. We know the order books and all the volume kind of diminishes over the weekend, so we could be have to exercise a bit of patience to start the new week really strong. Very possible, but this is what we could expect, maybe a roll to the upside. In the meantime, we're seeing that the market cap and the market in general, Bitcoin, Ethereum, still slow grind to the upside. Now, of course, once we start to see that, we start to speculate whether we could be coming down for a dip, or is it just a quick slowdown before we continue to the upside? The good thing about going sideways, and Bitcoin is kind of going a bit sideways, just kind of. You can see that on the 1 hourly, we're kind of going sideways, and so is Ethereum, hesitating just a little bit. You know, its move, its strength to the upside is slowly diminishing. Now, the good thing is that we can put, create a setup with a structure, a setup that integrates good risk management, because we can put a stop loss underneath this sideways price action and potentially get into some good long positions if we do get that continuation. That's the reality. We expect continuations to the upside and continuation patterns such as bull flags to eventually break bullish. So this is what we're looking for, guys. Opportunity. We're looking for great risk reward opportunities to get into trades, into setups. And of course, guys, join me live tonight at 8 p.m. EST, where I take requests. If you have any projects you want me to take a look at, if you request it, I'll pull up some charts. We'll look for setups, risk reward ratios, and all the works. All right, guys. So let's continue here. Let's see what else we got. We can see pretty much the market is looking good. Cardano is waking up, guys. Cardano is waking up. Now, I know a lot of people are a bit, salty or even negative against Cardano, but I'm going to put a bit of realism here. Okay, we'll take a look at the Cardano chart. We're going to take a look at the Bitcoin chart and use it as an indicator to see how the altcoin market, including Cardano, could react based on Bitcoin's lead. And then we'll continue right now scraping through the top 100 to get a sense of the general market. But Cardano is getting a wake-up call. It's up 11% for the day. It's pretty much one of the major gainers today, which is pretty good. We also have Chainlink waking up, but we also see a lot of projects still going sideways. Very clearly, SUI. Okay, Bitcoin Cash kind of goes sideways here. We got SUI going sideways. We have Near Protocol still going sideways. Aptos going sideways. Pepit going sideways. ICP breaking out of structure, breaking out of the bull flag to the upside. Continuation up. ICP is moving. Okay, so this is what we look for. Now, Tau is doing a similar thing. FET is doing a similar thing. Eventually, we might start breaking this structure and moving to the upside the same way ICP is doing. We all are going to expect to see these projects take turns and expand once again. So right now we're doing pretty good. We see Matic doing pretty good. Also Polygon, moving to the upside, 13.7%. Kronos is doing good. CRO moving to the upside, 20%. So although there are some dippers, right? Including Caspa, guys. Caspa not looking the greatest in the last little while, but although we do have a few little dips, small dips, right? 3%, 4% here and there. There are still some really good, strong projects, like even Injective. It is up 4%, slow grind, but Celestia is in that bull flag. So this is what we have to get used to, is hunting for bull flags as continuation patterns. The days are limited where we're going to see full-on retracements back down to the 886 after every little pump. Now we have to expect we're going to get a pump, we're going to get a flag, we're going to get a continuation, and we should be prepared to deploy capital within the continuation pattern. And this is what I'm trying to emphasize here on the channel in the next little while, is opportunities are going to come in different ways, and we definitely have to take full advantage of it. Thorchain Rune is taking a break here for potential continuation. Even though it is in the red, you can see that the structure is nice. The same thing with Render. The structure is nice. Now, if you saw H-bar, look above. H-bar went sideways for a bit, and then all of a sudden started moving. All of a sudden started moving to the upside. So we got to get used to this, is that these bull flags could start breaking up to higher levels. Guys, we've doing pretty good here in this market. I feel as we start to see our portfolio deep in the green, we have to get used to also taking profit. Okay, so this is also very, very important. Guys, let's take a look at some of these charts. I know you're here to talk about charts, so let's take a look at what's going on with Bitcoin. This is the Cardano chart, but before we look at Cardano, I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, because Bitcoin can give us an indication of what could be happening in the next little while. Because as Bitcoin shows strength and Bitcoin continues to the upside in price discovery, we start to look for opportunities where there is less risk. Let's take a look at this in a little bit more detail. Bitcoin is looking good. However, again, price discovery introduces risk, and then we can potentially see rotation. The rotation generally comes into when we start to see capital flow into the large caps, beginning with Ethereum. And in the last little while, we have been seeing Ethereum show a little bit of strength. Currently, Ethereum's hitting a bit of resistance. Bitcoin is hesitating a little bit. And at the current moment, we do see some good green price action. But what about if we get into lower time frames, we start to see Bitcoin kind of hesitate, slow drip upwards. You can see that very similar to what's going on here. You can see those slow drips to the upside. And then we start looking for divergences, a bit of a Class C bearish divergence, maybe even Class A, because it's also the momentum is dripping. I feel like we're waiting for a bullish response, a nice bullish response, to see what happens if we go up for another higher high, because volatility is already oversold. But generally speaking, in the shorter time frames, we could expect a short-term pullback. We have a clear Class A bearish divergence on the 1 hour, maybe a small little dip to come down to maybe 72, and then altcoins come down, and then we get in, and then we continue to the upside, guys. So what I'm trying to say is here, be prepared to ride the peaks and the valleys of the market on lower time frames as well. The daily breaks are great. They're great positions, the daily breaks, but they're also small continuation patterns that allow us to get better entries, to appreciate the daily gains, the daily breaks, and the daily structural breaks, because you can see that on the daily, Bitcoin is still looking very powerful. But where are you going to get your entry here? The only way you can get a decent entry is getting, again, into lower time frames. You build a position right into here, you put a stop loss right underneath 73, let's say. Or let's wait for a bit more of a clear structure. Maybe we come down, we go sideways a little bit. Who knows? We put a stop loss underneath and expect that continuation. And then you start looking at the daily, where the daily starts to look really good, and all of a sudden we're moving again. You get what I mean? Just if you keep looking at the daily, the opportunities can come and go for proper entry. So we got to be really, really prepared to look for those bull flags as we continue in this bullish market. So that's Bitcoin. Bitcoin's still looking very strong. Personally speaking, I'm looking for altcoin opportunities. Let's talk about ADA. Let's jump right into ADA. What's going on with ADA? The sentiment on ADA is a little bit weird, in the sense that it's almost like people forgot what ADA did and what ADA is all about. ADA did very well in the previous cycle, extremely well. Look at this. But again, the retracement was deep. It went straight up really hard to about $3. And the retracement was quite deep down to the 886. And of course, that's going to produce a lot of salty people, a lot of individuals that, are second guessing their convictions on Cardano. Guess what? The market tends to want to induce those types of emotions, because those types of emotions basically cause people to capitulate out of their positions. And this is exactly what happened. But guess what, guys? Right at these levels, this is where I put in the green arrows. Buy here, sell here, buy here, sell here, now buy here. We're back. We're trading the market like champions. All of a sudden, we're at a good level again, where we can expect a higher low. Now, I'm not completely neglecting the fact that we could come down again and hit this zone. Just because we broke to the higher high level, which is super bullish, and I'll get into that in a second, it doesn't mean that we can't come down and hit about 25 cents. But I think it's very unlikely at this current moment, given the fact that reality is we did change character. We got a higher high. Now, do we come back for a back test to create a higher low? Let's zoom in a little bit and look at this market structure. As of now, we can definitely say that we've been making lower lows and lower highs. All of a sudden, we went sideways. Then we got a nice spike to the upside that took the price above the 200 daily, and it broke above the previous high. This is the beginning of a change of character. Now, all of a sudden, we could come down. Let's say, hypothetically, we backtest. Maybe not. Maybe we don't. Maybe we bull flag right here for a continuation to the upside. Remember what I said about Bitcoin. Get into those lower time frames. Find the structure. We could get those bull flags for a continuation. But in the meantime, if you stick here on the daily, the only level that I would be worried about is the 200 daily level, which is right here. Very confluent with this volume gap, okay, right here at about 40 cents. And then coming down to even lower level point of control and bottom of the range levels, again, to hunt more liquidity. Is that possible? It's fair game. However, again, this green lightsaber that you see here, this green spiked in volume and price action at a very critical zone as the market is looking bullish. ADA right now is up 8%, which is pretty good. Now let's back it up a bit. Let's talk about fundamentals just for a second. Now, fundamentally speaking, we know that Cardano is a slow moving ecosystem in the sense that the development is slow. We get it, but it's a rock. No exploits, no issues. It is what it is, and it does what it does fairly well, okay? And of course, there's competition coming out faster, you know, cheaper, this and that. But Cardano definitely keeps up to a degree. It is keeping up. The thing is now, build on Bitcoin, the Bitcoin operating system, BOS, is coming around, and Cardano now essentially is accepting native Bitcoin on its blockchain, which, you know, bridging over Bitcoin to Cardano allows Cardano to tap into liquidity that it never had before. And this is quite interesting and quite bullish for a lot of people. Now, at the end of the day, this is great to see Bitcoin on another chain, right? And ultimately, Cardano, using the UTXO model, is basically interoperable with Bitcoin and any other UTXO model, which is great for Cardano and its interoperability within that, you know, standard, which is great. So we could expect that Cardano eventually is going to have more utility because of this interoperability. And ultimately, I think the price is reflecting this possibility. So again, we go back to charts. Green pop to the upside. We are seeing signs of an altcoin season. Cardano going sideways. Let's take a look at some oscillators to see if we can get some confluence here, and then we'll come up with a setup to see what we should be doing at this current moment. We're slightly getting overbought here. We're entering that overbought condition. You can see, but there is a mean reversion play happening right now. Let me zoom in here so you can see what I mean. Whenever we see the purple line and the orange line, or the yellow line, sorry, purple and yellow, far away from each other, there's a good chance that we see it get back to the yellow. And even to the downside, for that matter. It also happens. But we'll focus on the current scenario. Way overextended, comes back to the yellow. Way overextended, comes back to the yellow. We are way overextended. It is likely that the yellow and the purple are going to want to meet halfway somewhere, guys. And we can see that the volatility line is very oversold, and it's very likely that we might see something where we see volatility come back down, and this would be the right time to go long again, because by that time, it's likely that we see the momentum come back down, and then we start looking for some support around this level, or a cross even below. We can even come below the 200, the yellow line, which is the moving average, and then all of a sudden, you know, hesitate here, and then finally get that pop and get overbought again. Guys, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I'm going to go on the 4-day in a second and show you what's really going on here. It's this rounded bottom. It's this pivot. Guys, eventually we're going to get these peaks and valleys like I'm mentioning, and then we're going to get really overbought, similar to here. And then guess what's going to happen to Cardano? Now, let's quickly look at what happened to Cardano on this level when we saw that green expansion, massive green expansion. Look at Cardano where it is. It hit 75 cents, okay? And that's the reality. And it's not even all-time highs price discovery. This is pretty much a bear market pump that we got right into this level. Guys, I'm expecting Cardano to wake up very, very soon, especially with this proof of life. Let's take a look at the trend. EMA is facing up. Green histogram bars, bullish, bullish, bullish. This is the 4-day. And take a look at the daily. The daily is also looking good because it's going sideways here, but finally get into the bullish control zone with clear bullish divergences on the way up. So I appreciate that we are leaving the bearish sentiment here. You can see it all here to see the EMA slowly get into the bullish control zone. Guys, there's bullishness on the daily and on the 4-day. Guys, larger time frames are looking amazing for that massive rally back to previous price action, potentially getting back again into a level where we get into all-time highs and price discovery eventually. However, guys, in the meantime, what am I doing here? Okay, so now that we understand that things are getting a little bit overbought, big picture, we're not even there yet. We're not overbought. Momentum is looking good. Trend is looking good. Oscillators are looking good. Now, all of a sudden, we start looking at price action because price action is king. You know, market structure. Again, we got a higher high, guys. We broke above this high. Let's see if we come down for that higher low. And let's see if we can accumulate within this range again. All within this range. Now, again, we don't know what's going to happen in the future. However, do you think that the market could come down back below these previous lows and hunt liquidity again? You know, I really don't think it's going to happen. Again, I don't have a crystal ball to tell you what the future is going to hold, but the probability of Cardano falling below 30 cents, I think right now is pretty much out the window. The liquidity hunt already happened. We see the market looking a little bit, the sentiment of the market a bit different. The problem is if you get in right now in Cardano, if you get in right now, you're buying into a green lightsaber. You're buying into a pump, and the risk to reward ratio is pretty bad. Let me show you what I mean. Let's say we get in right here, and you put your stop loss down here, which would be fine. You can see that your risk to reward ratio is going to be tough to navigate because really, let's say you go to previous high, right? Previous high, you're up to 78%, but your risk to reward ratio is only 2.5, 2.1.5, you know, 2.5 or something like that, 2.3. You could probably make this go maybe a little bit earlier, something like that, so that you can, you know, secure the gains, front run the top a little bit. So 2 to 1, you know, it's not the greatest. However, if we do get that back test because of the mean reversion and on lower time frames, we potentially come down, guys, it's not that bad. Right, we can improve that on a back test and we can get 3 to 1. That's a golden spot. That's a really good spot. 3 to 1 is my ratio, the one that I like to trade. If I find 3 to 1 ratios, I'm trading, especially at good risk to reward ratios. However, the risk to reward is still not good because we could come down and still have to endure a 26% dip. But hold on. Let's hypothetically say that we get into lower time frames and we start hunting for a position. The reality is that after an impulse, it would be ideal to see a structure build here, a bull flag. And this goes back to what I said before about being prepared to trade flags to the upside. At this current moment, we could wait for either a retracement, like I mentioned, that we come straight down. But if we get evidence of some sort of sideways structure where we can put a stop loss right underneath it and expect that expansion, the risk to reward ratio starts to improve significantly here. Okay, so let's go back to the original chart and kind of zoom let's make this a little bit in our view here and just bring this stop loss, and let's say that we get in right here, and let's say that we bring our stop loss right here, because if we break below the structure that potentially could build, we want to get out. But look at our ratio now. Look at our ratio, and we start zooming out and start looking. Imagine if this does become a continuation flag. But just keep in mind, the last time we got here, we got rejected, and this is why it's important. Like, even if you use this fractal or this previous price action, you can see we impulse, we went sideways, you put a stop loss. If it reverses, get yourself out. But what about if this time it becomes a continuation, right? And then all of a sudden you start looking for profit-taking zones. Okay, so this is what I would be doing in the next little while, particularly as we see the market heat up. And you can see that Cardano is looking pretty good. You're buying bottom levels. It finally broke above the 200 daily, and it's looking pretty good. The market in general is looking pretty good. Cardano is looking good. Guys, if I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor. Slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Feel free to join the Discord, guys. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.